I see that town.
A very warm welcome to the channel. Second video for today, Friday the 13th of December 2024. I must apologize for any background noise. Basically, my air conditioning is foobar and it's going to be fixed tomorrow afternoon. But regardless of that, do you find it sort of like amazing that when you do go onto Twitter and maybe possibly some other social media networks, and you type in the word China, it's all the stuff you get all the time is the absolute positive. Now, don't get me wrong, it's great that China does have many positives, but you would see this is all from, you could say, Chinese media in a way, and they would rarely, if at all, do anything negative because, well, media is controlled by the Communist Party of China, or the Chinese Communist Party, whichever way you want to call it. Now, China did have a late start, and all because of Mad Mao basically put the country into a slump, and then when he passed away and then China opened up in 1979, they did a lot of catch up. You could say similar to places like Tokyo, Osaka, Seoul in South Korea, etc. But they had a longer period, but it took them about 30-40 years to become very modern like they are today. And China is on the catch up. And you would see one or two videos always promoting the latest Chinese EV. Now, here's the thing. I really don't like EVs. I don't like the lithium battery. I don't like the range. I don't like when it's cold, the range goes shorter, the battery is exploding. And I'm looking forward to the Japanese H2 car, where it's just going to be powered by H2O, taking out the O through electrolysis and bringing the hydrogen into the car. Or from the country of Taiwan, where they're doing a solid state battery, which is going to be better. And possibly some companies, they're saying they're going to create the chargers, which are going to be a lot faster, rather than going to a charging station, waiting 30-40 minutes while you have a very expensive cappuccino. But they love to show off and say, oh, our cars are the best in the world. Feels like they should spend more time with their eyes on the road instead of the actual display on your right hand side. Now, if you do like this channel, please do give it a thumbs up, and please do share this, and please do subscribe. It really helps the algorithm. I usually do this at the end, but I'm doing it here, otherwise I will most probably forget. Let's continue to the next one. Education. Now, the education system in China has got a lot better since the days of Mao, granted. And there are some ingenious or genius people from China who we need around the world, mathematicians, computer scientists, etc. But the education system still has a long way to go to catch up with the West. This is why many people in China want to do an IELTS exam, which means they have the English certificate to go and study in different universities in England and America, Australia, around the world. But let's have a look at their morning exercise. Up 2 3, down 2 3. And of course, we wouldn't expect anything less on Chinese social media about the wonderful infrastructure, the building of bridges, how fantastic it is. And granted, these are real videos from China showing you the technology that they have, the same as the technology that they have in the West, so to speak. There's no difference with it, but I'm just showing this is all on Western media. None of these videos actually come from the Chinese social media like Douyin, which is similar to TikTok, for example. of course, we have the Chinese state media with some people who would say they don't work for state media. This is just their own video on Twitter. Let me just show you a small clip of this lady. I think she's called Jing Jing, and she's quite well known that she does actually have affiliation and works for the television networks, and quite often posts the propaganda and the things related to China in a positive way, never in a negative way, and they will never show the negative, like this.
Do you know why the US wants to separate Xinjiang from the rest of China?
Here's the whole thing, that Western media can't actually post on Chinese social media. It's actually very difficult to get any kind of account, because usually you have to be verified by a Chinese person in the country. How can I do it? Well, quite simply, before, way back in 2014, I was in Hong Kong quite a lot, and I did use WeChat, and that's how I got the account. But you didn't need to have a friend to sponsor you. But going back to the things that you won't see on Chinese social media, but you will find on Twitter, would be signs like this. Here we go. This would be so wrong in the West. You could not do it. It's just some kind of discrimination. I know some people would say, oh, that's a good thing, there are only two genders, but we move forward in life. Perhaps a holiday in Thailand, where you would say the most beautiful girls in Thailand are actually boys. Then their continuous claim that they alleviated absolute poverty, that there's zero homeless, and a lot of the satellites would actually go along a pre-planned road, for example, saying, oh, there's no homeless here. There was one guy who tried to do it on a live stream, and he had to move his camera really quickly related to this, because he kept on finding homeless people on the street. But the evidence is there, and the thing is, they should show this on Chinese social media. Show the real world. Don't show your country as like Disneyland, and then employ thousands of foreigners to say, oh, China is the best country in the world. It has improved, granted, from the days of Mao. It has improved in the space of, let's say, 30, 40 years. The same as Japan, the same as Seoul. You could say the two big cities in East Asia there as well, which is a good thing. But it's got to come with the good, which they have, and they also have the bad. Nothing in life is perfect in that respect. Whew, it's hot in here. No, I'm not going to. I'm thinking of the song, It's Hot in Here, take off all your... You know what I'm on. That brings us to a close. Just a reminder again, if you do like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you do want to buy me a Christmas present, hey, the links are in the description below for sponsoring this channel. And please do subscribe. God bless to all. Thank you so much to the newcomers who have subscribed. Welcome to the channel. These are just my observations. Now, please note, I have been in Asia for over 31 years. I have been so many times to China. Most of my friends are actually from Hong Kong and Shanghai. Most of them, yeah, obviously, they are Chinese. So when I have a point of view, or if I'm not too sure, I do go and ask these people, obviously not on state-controlled media like what we have here, but more on applications like Telegram, a little bit like WhatsApp, where they can speak freely. And obviously I'm not going to tell their names, and obviously I'm not going to do that in any way, shape or form, and it's a matter of trust. And here I actually give you like what's happening in China, the good, the bad and the ugly. I have no problem, none at all, zero, with people. Nothing at all. But I do with governments, especially ones like the CCP, or the one in Russia, or North Korea, or Iran, or even Syria, being a little bit sensitive there, who are dictators, and people are scared of the government. And that's sort of like, you lose the freedom. You just get on with life and say, oh well, and a lot of people do. As long as they're contented in life, they have a house, they have a job, they have a car, they can have children, they have hospital, they have some kind of retirement scheme, they're not going to complain. But it's our country. So we should have the choice. I would love to see democratic elections in China, just like in America, where the people choose the actual leader, not through a way of the Chinese democracy where you would choose your local leader and then that would actually build up to the actual real leader. I think people, you and I, should actually, like in America, like in England, and it's full of surprises sometimes. But in China and these other dictatorial countries, it doesn't happen. It's just done in a very long and very complicated and a very corrupt way in that respect. I know I'm going to have lots of people, and I do get them quite often now, the little pinks who come on and say, you don't know what you talk about, you fat baboon. That's okay. I will reply to you with a positive, saying thank you for your POV. It's so nice for you to give me a personal, lovely comment. God bless to all. Thank you very much indeed. Bye-bye.